over the years, the government has done some pretty sketchy and controversial things that they have attempted to hide from the public. Today, let's expose some of these things as we look at the darkest controversies that the government wants you to forget. Starting off this countdown, we have the Iran-Contra affair. In the 1980s, the US government made a secret deal to trade missiles and other arms to free some Americans held hostage by terrorists in Lebanon. But then they used the funds from the arms deal to support the Contras, a rebel group attempting to overthrow the government in that country. These transactions were a violation of the law. Congress passed legislation barring US aid to the Contras, and they don't negotiate with hostage takers or pay ransoms. So this caused a huge political scandal that almost brought down Ronald Reagan. In our 9th spot, we have Project Mannequin. What's scary is that the US government might still be working on this project had it not been for several whistleblowers exposing them. Basically, they were working on this project known as Project Mannequin, which was basically them trying to produce super soldiers. They were going to kidnap people at a young age and then groom them to become cold-blooded killers. They also were going to take kids being given up for adoption and do the same to them. They would then use mind control and other techniques to create these soldiers. But Max Spears blew the whistle on this project, only later to die under mysterious circumstances. And then when investigators came to his house, they wiped his computer and SIM card clean. That is incredibly suspicious. What do they not want us to know? Moving on to number 8, we have Operation Sleeping Beauty. Operation Sleeping Beauty was a psychological warfare program in which the government was going to use high-power electromagnetic pulses to disturb soldiers on the battlefields. You know how sometimes high frequencies or sounds drive us insane? Well, they were going to use that to manipulate enemy soldiers so that they would surrender. Rumor has it that the government was using real human test subjects for this project. Of course, against their will. Although the government claims this project is over, some believe it's still in the works, just under a new name. In our 7th spot, we have Robert P Hanssen. Robert Hanssen was an FBI double agent. While working for the FBI, he was simultaneously working for Soviet and Russian intelligences. So he was feeding them top secret information. In fact, he sold thousands of classified documents to the Soviet and Russian intelligences. These documents outlined US strategies with regards to nuclear wars and exposed developments in the military's weapons and detailed aspects of the US counterintelligence program. His espionage was considered as possibly the worst intelligence disaster in US history. In our 6th spot, we have Project QK Hilltop. This is a very, very controversial and unethical project by the CIA. Basically, around this time, the Chinese were using brainwashing techniques, so the CIA was like, maybe we should try this too. Not only did they brainwash their victims, they also tortured and deprived them of sleep. The head of the experiment was Dr. Harold Wolf, and he knew that testing on human subjects was unethical, but that still didn't stop him or the government from conducting these tests. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with Operation Midnight Climax. I just want to know who named this one. Oh my. Anyways, this project began in the 1950s and it involved a CIA-run brothel with real workers. They got the workers to lure men there and then drug them with LSD and record what happened. It was the government's way of getting top secret information or to get blackmail material on people. And of course, this project was controversial for a number of reasons. Eventually, it was shut down in the 1960s. In our 4th spot, we have the Watergate Scandal. This is one scandal that is still discussed to this day. It's for sure gonna go down in history. So on June 17th, 1972, 5 men working for the committee to re-elect the president broke into the Democratic Party's headquarters in the Watergate, a hotel office building in Washington. But they got caught going through the files and trying to plant listening devices there. 5 days later, President Nixon was like, no, I had nothing to know about this. Wow, shocker. He denied his involvement. But we all know that this was his plan to ensure his re-election in 1972. The scandal gets messier though, and he faced the possibility of impeachment. In fact, Nixon became the first president to resign from office in August of 1974. In our 3rd spot, we have Project Grudge. For quite some time now, the US government has been secretly monitoring UFOs. In fact, they even have tried to make their own craft, but that's a completely different project altogether, and we'll address that another time. Project Grudge was all about finding out about UFO sightings and then debunking these sightings. However, not all the sightings could be debunked, leading many to believe that they could have been real UFO spacecrafts. This project is still ongoing, just possibly under a different name. In 2017, there were tons of UFO sightings reported that they were investigating. In our second spot today, we have Bigfoot. Imagine the FBI spending thousands of dollars tracking a legendary monster. How would that make you feel? They could be out solving real-life crime or murder cases, but no, they're trying to see if the Bigfoot is really real. And that's why this next project was so controversial. The FBI was keeping tabs on and tracking the Bigfoot. In the FBI's Freedom of Information Library, you can find the FBI's file on Bigfoot. These files are only released when the subject is deceased. So they believe that not only was the Bigfoot a real beast, but they believe that it is now dead. But what about its relatives though? Like, there has to be more than one Bigfoot out there. And in our number one spot today, we have the Hepatitis Experiments. In 1956, the US government began running tests on young individuals housed at the Willowbrook State School in Staten Island. The test involved intentionally giving hepatitis to these residents in order to track the development of this viral infection. Of course, they were being experimented on without their knowledge or consent. To make matters worse, the study lasted 14 years. And they also injected a number of these test subjects with other viruses to see its protection against hepatitis. When the government was exposed, they tried to justify their actions, saying that these people were probably going to wind up contracting it anyways. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. Let me know in the comments below which one of these scandals you thought was the juiciest. Also, should I do a part 2? Let me know in the comments below. And now, speaking of comments, let's move on to our comment shout out portion. I'll be shouting out comments from the video, Top 10 Places Archaeologists Don't Want You to See, Part 2. Jules commented, always wanted to go to the catacombs of France. I'll stay on the path though, don't want to get lost. Also, have you guys seen the horror movie As Above, So Below? If so, don't stray off the path. Okay? Watch the movie and you'll understand. Also, yeah, I really want to go to the catacombs too. I thought it'd be really cool. Ravioli Dark Cyan commented, hi Lindsay, I'm addicted to your videos. Oh, thank you. I love what you guys find these days, what we thought was lost in history. And you're so pretty. Thank you again. From the UK with love. Oh, so sweet. Thank you so much, Ravioli. And General Vids Shaw commented, am I the only one who sees similarities in Cleopatra and Lindsay? Suspicious. No, I don't see it at all. Cleopatra was supposed to be really beautiful though, so thank you. Thanks. Alright guys, that's all the comments I'm showing out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye! Today, let's expose some of these things as we look at the darkest controversies. I don't know how to pronounce this. What's scary is that the US government might still be working on this project. It's just that